Hello, it's yours truly, Daniel, Mr. Daniel, and I'm going to be continuing this course, macroeconomics, specifically for MBA students. So in this episode, we're looking at macroeconomics versus microeconomics. We want to see the comparison, right? We want to compare contrast between the micro and the macro aspect of economics. Please understand that these are two major fields in economics. Uh, One looks at individual economic agents and their interactions among each other. The other looks at aggregate variables of the economy. So while macroeconomics is the study of aggregates of an economy as a whole, macroeconomics is the study of individual economic agents as they interact with each other. Microeconomics is the focus on understanding the behavior of households and business firms in their interaction and reaction to economic changes. Macro, on the other hand, focuses on aggregate demand, aggregate supply, and general price level. So let's see. There are various changes or various differences. Differences between micro and macro. Some of them are for micro, it is the study of individual economic units. For macro, it is the study of economy as a whole. For micro, its main tools are demand and supply of a particular commodity, but for macro, its main tools are aggregate demand and aggregate supply of an economy. So many other differences available on the slides. Let's consider circular flow. Circular flow of income is a good way to show or to depict macroeconomics, right? When you understand circular flow of income, you understand what macroeconomics is all about, right? So one good way to visualize macroeconomics is through the circular flow of income diagram. So circular flow model is a model of the economy that shows the circular flow of expenditures and incomes that result from this decision makers' choices, and it's also the way those choices interact in markets to determine what, how, and for whom goods and services are produced. Now, households and firms, right? Households are individuals or people living together as decision making units. Firms are institutions that organize the production of goods and services. These are the major players in the circular flow diagram. That's why we're looking into them. We're also going to understand market. It's an arrangement that brings buyers and sellers together and enables them to get information and do business with each other. So, considering this diagram now, the real flow and the money flows, you're going to see this circular diagram that shows household at the top, firms right under on the opposite side. Then horizontally you see the factor market and the goods market. Now notice that the arrows are going counterclockwise, right? They are showing how labor moves from households to business firms through the factor market, and how goods and services move to the households through the goods market. All right. The next diagram is more elaborate because it also shows a clockwise movement, right, of income in form of rent, wages, interest, and profit moving from the firms to the households, and it then shows expenditure on goods and services for the products that they purchase, moving from the households back to the firms. Okay. Now the real flows and the money flows shows again that firms pay households income for services or factor of production. Households pay firms for the goods and services they buy. These are the money flows, right? It shows how money moves from households to so from households to business firms, and from business firms to the households. Now let's see government. Let's see how government comes into this circle. Originally, government was not considered to be a major player in the economy by the classicalists, but then because of macroeconomics and the analysis done by Keynes, government has been injected into or has been adopted into the circular flow, right? So the government is in every country can be centralized or decentralized. In federally structured governments like Nigeria and the US, there exist at least three broad levels: the federal government, state government, the local government, or you can call them the county or even the cities. The government's major expenditures are to provide goods and services that are not effectively provided for by the business firms. They are also responsible for the provision of social security and welfare benefits. Government finances its expenditures by collecting taxes, fines, levies, etc. Now, this graph or this figure shows how government fits in. So you see government right at the middle, playing the role of regulator, of monitor, of supervisor, ensuring fair play between the household and the firms. You see their expenses goes into the goods market, right? Goes right into the factor into the firms, from government to the goods market into the firms. They are spending on goods and services. You also see the arrows going back and forth between government and households, and also between government and the firms. It shows the movement of transfers and the movement of taxes. Taxes from households and firms to the government, transfers from the government to the households and the firms. So quickly, let's look further into circular flow. The first half, like we showed, where inputs are traded, is called the factor market. The second part is called the product market. That is where goods and services are exchanged. Okay, it's called the product market. Quick question before we round up this unit. Without revisiting the previous slides, show with the diagram the basic interactions among the economic agents. Right? I need you to first of all ascertain, find out who are the economic agents, and show their interactions without going back to the slides. Let's test your ability to remember what we just discussed in this unit that we'll see in the next unit.